Hi, Helen. Hi.
For 19 years, Helen lived in silence and darkness. Born blind, this giant dairy cow had spent almost her entire life standing in a cramped barn while the world went on without her. When the rescuers finally opened the gates to freedom, everyone expected her to step out immediately. But instead, she just stood there, listening to the wind as if waiting for something terrible to happen.
Helen. Come here. Come here. Want me to help? Got hay all over your face. Hold on, let me get down.
When she first arrived, she didn't move much. She stood silently, listening to her new environment. She sensed every tiny sound and every gentle breeze. For Helen, sound and touch were how she understood everything. It wasn't fear that kept her still, but a deep unease. She didn't know if this new space was real or if it would suddenly disappear. The caretakers decided to slow things down for her. They spoke softly whenever they passed by her. They gave her a small, private space, a safe corner she could return to until the scent and shape became familiar. Gradually, they added small details to make her daily life easier. They installed a fountain so she could hear the splashing water and find her way to drink. They hung wind chimes around the meadow, giving her a sound to follow back to the stable. They also placed a large, sturdy brush. Helen learned to lean her heavy body against it whenever she needed comfort.
Helen's listening to her wind chimes. Giving a tush scratch.
Over time, these routines built up a quiet trust. One afternoon, a caretaker was working in the meadow. Helen slowly approached him. She paused for just a second, then leaned completely toward him. She pressed her entire head and neck against him, rubbing gently, trying to get as close as possible. It wasn't a reserved gesture. It was a completely deliberate tilt. In that moment of stillness, it was clear that Helen was no longer simply surviving. She was choosing to connect. From that day forward, Helen began to explore. She began to move more freely across the pasture, deciding for herself where she wanted to stand and who she wanted to be near. She proved to be an incredibly gentle animal. She liked everyone she met, including the other cows and the people who visited her pasture. If someone stood near her long enough, Helen would eventually find them. She didn't demand attention. She simply approached calmly, slowly, sharing her presence. Now, instead of standing still in the dark barn, Helen spent her days outdoors. She grazed, rested, and lived under the open sky. She seemed to love the sounds of the pasture more than the physical space itself. She often stood directly beneath the wind chimes, holding her position while the metal pieces swayed in the breeze. When music played in the yard, she recognized it instantly. She was especially at ease listening to a slow Hawaiian tune, a version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. A stillness enveloped her, as if she knew she was right where she belonged. Her life wasn't perfect, and her body was aging, but she remained open to the world around her. Caring for an animal like Helen reminds us that the healing process takes time and patience. If you ever consider rescuing or adopting an animal with special needs, do thorough research and consult with professionals to ensure you can truly support their unique emotional and physical journey. If this story touches your heart, please share it with someone who might need a little warmth today.